only focusing on visible text as a mistake. So what do we mean by that?
Yeah. So there's kind of a thing that happens with any kind of website design or development project, and with SEO. There's a tendency for everyone to focus on things they can see, and so they treat the website as done when it's beautiful, and they forget to think about things like page speed or other characteristics of each page, like having a custom meta description for each page. And so an experience...
Now, hold on. What do we mean by meta description?
Oh, yeah. A meta description is a little bit of text that's part of the back end of the website that tells search engines what that particular page is about. And so that's not really something that you see when the agency shows up. This is the big meeting. They're going to present the new website to you. The new, maybe they've done a logo project for you. Maybe there's a design project for the website.
No one flips the card and says, "Look what we have for your meta description."
Meta description. It never happens. And so we've tended to be more of a performance marketing agency. We tend to live a little bit more in spreadsheets than mood boards. And so we tend to focus on these things that are more nuts and bolts and more behind the scenes. And so we've developed a sensitivity around all of these missed opportunities. So some of the items that are really easy to miss if you're just using what you see as your starting point are a lot of the handles for search engines to know what the page is about. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we just hit on one of them, a meta description. It's good to have for every page. It's good to have a custom meta description that says this is what this page is about. And you want to make sure that your language is natural, and it's the sort of thing that if someone's reading a snippet of it on a search results page, they're going to see some resonance between the title and the meta description and understand that all these things are kind of working together. You're not sort of gaming the system. You're just making sure that you check it and fill in all the boxes.
Right.
So yeah, a custom meta description for each page is a really big one. Another missed opportunity that we often see when websites are brought to us after the design work is done, and we're doing the SEO to try to make it not invisible to search engines, is thinking about the images. And there are two things with each image that are always overlooked, and then there's a third one that people do better with, but they're all important. Number one is the alt text for the image. Mm-hmm. That's pretty easy. A lot of people are familiar with that now. They can see it.
And by alt text, I'll just explain a little bit. That's the text that's behind the image, that if the image doesn't show up for whatever reason in the browser, mm-hmm. Google will show the alt text in its place. But it also gives Google kind of some information about what the image is about. It does.
Google's been doing this for a long time, and I would say that in the grand scheme of things, they tend to take information that they get a little bit less directly as highly credible, and so they like alt text. Another one is the file name of the image. What do you call in the image? That file name can be made up of keywords, and so you can have those right in the URL of the image. And then another one is captioning, putting some text under an image. Google's smart enough to say, hey, there's this image, there's some text under it. And so those are good ideas. So those are things that are not always things that people think about, meta description. And then another one is the URL of the page. And so all these things work together, and they're really easy, but they're not necessarily the things people focus on when they're just looking at the page and saying, yeah, it looks okay to me.